Hello, and welcome back to English in Fluency. I am your host, Alex, and I am so happy you have joined me today for this extensive session designed to help you take your English to the next level. If you have ever felt like you can understand English perfectly when you hear it, but you struggle to find the words when you try to speak, you are not alone. This is a very common challenge for language learners. You have the vocabulary in your head, but connecting your brain to your mouth takes practice. That is exactly what we are going to work on today. We are going to focus on a powerful technique called shadowing. This method will help you improve your fluency, your pronunciation, and your confidence by simply repeating what you hear. Before we begin, if you are ready to finally speak English clearly and without hesitation, please make sure to subscribe to the channel and click the notification bell so you never miss a lesson. Let's start this journey together right now. Today, we are going to focus on a story about a young man named Julian. Julian is someone who loves adventure, but he is also a little bit shy. Through his story, we will practice everyday English phrases that you can use in your own life. I want you to relax and listen to my voice. I will speak clearly and at a moderate speed. Your job is to listen to what I say, and then repeat it exactly as you hear it. You do not need to worry about grammar rules or spelling right now. Just focus on the sounds, the rhythm, and the melody of the English language. Imagine you are an actor learning lines for a movie. You want to sound exactly like the character? Let's begin with the first part of Julian's story. Julian stood at the edge of the busy street, looking at the map on his phone. He had just arrived in a new city, and everything felt very big and very loud. The buildings were tall, reaching up into the bright blue sky, and the sound of cars and people filled the air. Julian took a deep breath. He felt a mixture of excitement and nervousness. He had always wanted to travel, and now, finally, he was here. I want you to try saying that last sentence with me. He had always wanted to travel, and now, finally, he was here. Notice how we pause slightly after the word now and after the word finally. These pauses help to emphasize the feeling of relief and happiness. Let's try it one more time. He had always wanted to travel, and now, finally, he was here. Great job. He needed to find his hotel, but the map on his phone was a little confusing. He looked left and he looked right, but he could not tell which way to go. He decided he needed to ask for help. This is a very common situation, isn't it? We often need to ask strangers for directions. Julian saw a friendly-looking woman sitting on a bench nearby, reading a book. He walked over to her slowly, trying to think of the right words to say. He didn't want to disturb her, but he really needed assistance. He cleared his throat gently and spoke. "Excuse me, could you please help me? I think I am lost." Now, it is your turn to practice this useful phrase. Listen closely. "Excuse me, could you please help me? I think I am lost." Notice how the voice goes up a little bit at the end of the question. Let's try it again together. "Excuse me, could you please help me? I think I am lost." The woman looked up from her book and smiled warmly. Her name was Elena. She saw that Julian looked a bit worried, and she wanted to reassure him. "Oh, hello," she said. "Do not worry. This city can be confusing for new visitors. Where are you trying to go?" Elena's voice was calm and kind. Julian felt his shoulders relax. He showed her the name of the hotel on his phone. Elena nodded her head. "Ah, I know that place," she said. It is not far from here. You are actually very close. Let's practice Elena's response because it is a great way to reassure someone. Repeat after me. It is not far from here. You are actually very close. Make sure you stress the word very to show that the distance is short. One more time. It is not far from here. You are actually very close. Elena stood up and pointed down the street. You just need to walk straight for 2 blocks, she explained. Then, turn left at the large bakery. The hotel is right next to the park. Julian listened carefully. Walk straight for 2 blocks, turn left at the bakery, next to the park. He repeated the directions in his head to make sure he remembered them. Thank you so much, Julian said with a big smile. I was starting to panic a little bit. Elena laughed softly. You are very welcome, she replied. Enjoy your stay in our city. Julian thanked her again and started walking in the direction she had pointed. He felt much more confident now. He knew where he was going. Let's practice that interaction. Repeat this sentence with confidence. Thank you so much. I was starting to panic a little bit. Excellent. Now try the response. You are very welcome. Enjoy your stay in our city. As Julian walked, he noticed the smells of the city. When he passed the bakery Elena had mentioned, the air smelled like fresh bread and sweet cinnamon. It made his stomach rumble. He realized he had not eaten since breakfast. He decided that after he checked into his hotel, he would come back here to get something to eat. This is a good example of how we talk about our senses and our plans. Try saying this sentence. The air smelled like fresh bread and sweet cinnamon. Focus on the smooth connection between the words. The air smelled like fresh bread and sweet cinnamon. And now, let's practice his plan. He decided to come back later to get something to eat. Very good. Julian arrived at the hotel and walked up to the reception desk. The lobby was cool and quiet, a nice change from the noisy street outside. A man named Marcus was working behind the desk. He wore a neat uniform and looked very professional. Good afternoon, Marcus said. Welcome to the Grandview Hotel. How may I assist you today? Julian placed his bag on the floor and smiled. Hello, I have a reservation under the name Julian. Marcus began typing on his computer. Ah, yes, here it is, Marcus said. A single room with a view of the park for 3 nights. Is that correct? Julian nodded. Yes, that is perfect. Let's shadow this check-in conversation. It is very useful for traveling. Repeat after me. Hello, I have a reservation under the name Julian. And now the confirmation. A single room with a view of the park. Is that correct? Marcus handed Julian a key card. Here is your key, he said. You are in room 304. It is on the 3rd floor. The elevator is just to your right. Breakfast is served from 7 to 10 in the morning in the dining room. Do you have any questions? Julian took the key card. No, I think that is everything, he said. Thank you for your help. Julian took his bag and walked toward the elevator. He was tired, but he was also happy. He had successfully navigated the city, asked for directions, and checked into his hotel. He felt proud of himself. Speaking a new language in a new place is a brave thing to do. Let's practice that feeling of success. Repeat this sentence. He felt proud of himself. Speaking a new language is a brave thing to do. When Julian got to his room, he opened the curtains. The view was exactly as Marcus had described. He could see the green park across the street. People were walking their dogs, children were playing, and the sun was beginning to set, painting the sky with colors of orange and pink. Julian sat down on the edge of the bed and sighed happily. He took out his phone and decided to send a message to his mother to let her know he had arrived safely. "Hi, Mom," he typed. "I am at the hotel. The city is beautiful, and the people are very kind. I am going to have a great time here." Let's shadow the message Julian sent. It is a simple way to update your family. "Hi, Mom. I am at the hotel. The city is beautiful, and the people are very kind." After resting for a short while, Julian remembered the bakery. He was still hungry. He washed his face, changed his shirt, and went back downstairs. When he stepped outside, the air was a little cooler than before. He walked back the 2 blocks to the bakery. Inside, it was warm and cozy. There were many different kinds of pastries and breads on the shelves. A young woman named Sophia was working at the counter. She had a bright smile. "Hello," she greeted him. "What can I get for you today?" Julian looked at all the delicious options. It was hard to choose. "I am not sure," he admitted. "Everything looks so good. What do you recommend?" Asking for a recommendation is a great conversation starter. Let's try it together. Listen and repeat. "Everything looks so good. What do you recommend?" Sophia pointed to a round pastry covered in almonds. "This is our almond croissant," she said. "It is our most popular item. People come from all over the city just to buy it." Julian nodded. "That sounds amazing," he said. "I will take one of those, please. And maybe a coffee as well." Sophia smiled. "Excellent choice," she said. "Do you want milk or sugar in your coffee?" Julian thought for a moment. "Just a little bit of milk, please. No sugar." This is a very practical dialogue for ordering food. Let's practice these lines. "I will take one of those, please. And maybe a coffee as well. And now the preference. Just a little bit of milk, please. No sugar." Julian took his pastry and coffee to a small table by the window. He took a bite of the croissant. It was warm, flaky, and sweet. It was the best thing he had tasted all day. He watched the people walking by outside. He wondered where they were going and what their stories were. He felt a sense of peace. He realized that even though he was far from home, he could find comfort in small things, like a good cup of coffee and a friendly smile. This is an important lesson for all of us. Comfort can be found anywhere. Repeat this reflection with me. Even though he was far from home, he could find comfort in small things. While Julian was eating, he noticed a flyer on the community board near the door. It was an advertisement for a language exchange group meeting that evening. "Do you want to practice English and meet new people?" the flyer read. "Join us tonight at the library at 7 p.m. Julian checked his watch. It was already 6:30 p.m. The library was just around the corner. He felt a sudden burst of courage. He wanted to improve his English, and this seemed like the perfect opportunity. He finished his coffee quickly, wiped the crumbs from his mouth, and stood up. He was going to go. Let's practice his decision. He felt a sudden burst of courage. He wanted to improve his English, and this seemed like the perfect opportunity. Julian walked to the library. He was a little nervous again. Meeting a group of strangers can be intimidating. But he remembered Elena and Marcus and Sophia. Everyone had been so nice to him so far. He opened the library doors and saw a group of people sitting in a circle in the main hall. They were laughing and talking. A man saw Julian entering and waved him over. "Hello. Are you here for the language exchange?" the man asked. Julian nodded and walked closer. "Yes, I am," he said. "My name is Julian." The man smiled. "Nice to meet you, Julian. My name is Leo." Please, take a seat. Let's shadow this introduction. It is simple but effective. Hello? Are you here for the language exchange? And the response. Yes, I am. My name is Julian. Nice to meet you. Julian sat down in an empty chair. The group was very diverse. There were people from many different countries. Leo explained how the group worked. We spend 30 minutes speaking only in English, Leo said. We talk about our hobbies, our jobs, or anything else we find interesting. The goal is just to practice and not be afraid of making mistakes. Julian liked that rule. Not being afraid of mistakes is the key to fluency. Let's practice that rule together. The goal is just to practice and not be afraid of making mistakes. One more time, because this is important. The goal is just to practice and not be afraid of making mistakes. The person sitting next to Julian turned to him. Her name was Clara. She had friendly eyes. So, Julian, she said, where are you from? Julian told her about his home country. Then Clara asked, and what do you like to do in your free time? Julian thought about it. I really like photography, he said. I like taking pictures of nature and cities. That is why I am here. I want to take photos of this beautiful city. Clara's eyes lit up. Oh, that is wonderful, she exclaimed. I love photography too. Do you have a favorite place to take photos? This is a great conversation flow about hobbies. Let's shadow the question and answer. What do you like to do in your free time? I really like photography. I like taking pictures of nature and cities. Julian and Clara talked for a long time. They talked about cameras, lighting, and their favorite photographers. Julian was surprised at how easily the words came to him. He was not thinking about grammar rules in his head. He was just communicating. He was sharing his passion. When we talk about things we love, it becomes easier to speak. He forgot to be nervous. He was just enjoying the connection. This is the magic of fluency. It happens when you stop worrying and start sharing. Repeat this thought with me. When we talk about things we love, it becomes easier to speak. He forgot to be nervous. He was just enjoying the connection. At the end of the meeting, Leo stood up. Thank you everyone for coming, he said. You all did a fantastic job today. Remember, practice is a daily habit. We hope to see you all next week. Julian felt a sense of accomplishment. He had spoken English for a whole hour. He had made a new friend in Clara. He exchanged phone numbers with her so they could go take photos together later in the week. As he walked back to his hotel, the city lights were shining bright. He didn't feel like a stranger anymore. He felt like he was starting to belong. Let's practice this closing sentiment. He didn't feel like a stranger anymore. He felt like he was starting to belong. Julian's first day was a success, not because he was perfect, but because he tried. He spoke to the woman on the bench. He spoke to the hotel receptionist. He spoke to the girl at the bakery. And he spoke to the group at the library. Every time he opened his mouth, he got a little bit better. Every time he listened and repeated, his brain became more comfortable with the language. This is exactly what you are doing right now. By listening to this story and shadowing these sentences, you are training your brain just like Julian did. You are building the muscle memory for English. Now, let's do a quick review of some of the key phrases we learned through Julian's journey. I will say the phrase, and I want you to repeat it immediately. Focus on the intonation. Ready? Let's go. Excuse me, could you please help me? I think I am lost. Good. Next one. It is not far from here. You are actually very close. Excellent. Next. I have a reservation under the name Julian. Very good. And the next one? Just a little bit of milk, please. No sugar. Great job. And finally, the goal is just to practice and not be afraid of making mistakes. You see, fluency is not a destination where you suddenly arrive one day. Fluency is a journey. It is made up of small moments, like ordering a coffee, asking for directions, or chatting about a hobby. Every time you practice shadowing, you are simulating these real-life moments. You are preparing your mouth and your mind so that when the real moment comes, you are ready. You do not have to translate in your head. You just speak, because you have said these words before. Consistency is the most important factor in learning a language, and the fact that you are still here, listening, and ready to practice shows your dedication. Now, we are going to shift our focus to a different setting with completely new characters. This next story focuses on the workplace. Many of you tell me that you want to feel more confident speaking English at work. Whether it is talking to a manager, chatting with colleagues, or participating in a meeting. This story is designed exactly for that purpose. We will follow a young man named Liam as he navigates his first day at a new job. Remember, the rules remain the same. Relax, listen carefully to the intonation, and repeat exactly what you hear. Let's jump right into Liam's story. Liam stood in front of a tall glass building. He checked his reflection in the window and straightened his tie. Today was a big day. It was his first day as a graphic designer at a marketing company. He felt a mix of nerves and anticipation. He had practiced his introduction in the mirror at home, but saying it to real people was always different. He took a deep breath, opened the heavy glass door, and walked into the lobby. The receptionist, a cheerful woman named Emily, looked up and smiled. "Good morning," she said brightly. "How can I help you today?" Liam smiled back. "Good morning. I am Liam. I am the new graphic designer. I am here to see Sarah. Let's practice Liam's introduction. It is professional and clear. Repeat after me. Good morning. I am Liam. I am the new graphic designer. Now, let's try the second part. I am here to see Sarah. Notice how we use the phrase, I am here to see, instead of, I want to see. It sounds much more polite. Let's try the whole thing together. Good morning, I am Liam. I am here to see Sarah. Emily typed something quickly on her computer. Oh, yes. Welcome, Liam, she said warmly. Sarah is expecting you. You can go right up to the 5th floor. The elevator is just behind you. Liam thanked her and pressed the button for the elevator. As he rode up, he reviewed some small talk topics in his head. The weather, the commute, the office building. Having small topics ready is a great way to reduce anxiety. When the elevator doors opened, a woman in a smart blazer was waiting for him. This was Sarah, his new manager. Welcome, Liam, Sarah exclaimed, extending her hand. We are so happy to have you join the team. Liam shook her hand firmly. Thank you, Sarah. I am very excited to be here. Let's shadow that professional greeting. Repeat after me. Thank you, Sarah. I am very excited to be here. Make sure your voice sounds energetic and positive. One more time. Thank you, Sarah. I am very excited to be here. Sarah led Liam through the office. It was a busy, open space. People were typing on computers, talking on phones, and drinking coffee. Sarah stopped at a clean white desk near a large window. This will be your workspace, she said. You have a great view of the city. We have already set up your computer and your email account. Liam put his bag down. This is wonderful. Thank you, he said. The view is fantastic. Sarah nodded. Take some time to settle in. We have a team meeting at 10 a.m., so I will introduce you to everyone then. For now, just make yourself comfortable. Let's practice acknowledging instructions. Repeat this sentence. This is wonderful. Thank you. I will take some time to settle in. Excellent. This phrase, settle in, means to get comfortable and organized in a new place. After Sarah left, Liam sat down and organized his desk. He put his notebook and pen next to the keyboard. Suddenly, a man rolled his chair over from the desk opposite Liam. Hi there, the man said. I am David. I sit across from you. Nice to meet you. David seemed very friendly and relaxed. Liam smiled. Hi, David. I'm Liam. It is nice to meet you, too. David pointed to a machine in the corner. That is the coffee machine over there, he said. It is the most important thing in the office. Do you drink coffee? Liam laughed. Yes, definitely, he said. I cannot start my day without it. This is a classic example of water cooler chat or casual office conversation. Let's practice this interaction. Repeat the question. Do you drink coffee? And now the answer. Yes, definitely. I cannot start my day without it. Try to sound friendly and casual. David stood up. Let me show you how it works, David offered. It can be a little tricky sometimes. They walked over to the coffee machine together. David explained which buttons to press. You have to hold this button for 3 seconds, he explained. Otherwise, it just gives you hot water. Liam watched carefully. Hold for 3 seconds. Got it, Liam repeated. Thanks for the tip, David. I appreciate it. Using the phrase, thanks for the tip, is a great natural way to thank someone for advice. Let's try saying it. Thanks for the tip, David. I appreciate it. One more time, focusing on the flow. Thanks for the tip. I appreciate it. At 10 a.m., the team gathered in a conference room for the morning meeting. There were about 6 people sitting around a long table. Sarah stood at the front. Everyone, please welcome Liam, she announced. He is joining our design team starting today. Everyone smiled and said hello. Liam felt a spotlight on him, but he remembered to breathe. Hi, everyone, Liam said. I am looking forward to working with all of you. Let's practice this group greeting. It is simple but essential. I am looking forward to working with all of you. Notice the linking sound between working and with. Working with. Working with all of you. Let's try the full sentence again. I am looking forward to working with all of you. During the meeting, they discussed a new project for a client who sold organic juice. Sarah asked the team for ideas on the new logo. One colleague suggested using bright neon colors. Liam thought about this. He wasn't sure if neon colors fit the idea of organic. He wanted to share his opinion, but he wanted to be polite. He raised his hand slightly. Excuse me, may I say something? He asked. Sarah nodded encouragingly. Go ahead, Liam. Liam cleared his throat. I think neon colors are cool, he started, but maybe for an organic brand, we should use earth tones like green and brown. It might look more natural. This is a very important skill. Disagreeing politely. Let's practice Liam's phrasing. Repeat after me. I think neon colors are cool, but maybe we should use earth tones. Notice he starts with a positive, neon colors are cool, before giving the contrasting idea. Let's try it again. I think neon colors are cool, but maybe we should use earth tones. The room went quiet for a second. Liam worried he had said the wrong thing. Then David nodded. Actually, that is a really good point, David said. Earth tones trust. I agree with Liam. Sarah smiled. Excellent suggestion, Liam, she said. Let's explore that direction. Liam felt a wave of relief. His idea was accepted. He realized that his voice mattered here. Participating in meetings can be scary, but using phrases like, I think, or maybe we could, makes it easier. Let's practice the positive reinforcement. Repeat after me. Actually, that is a really good point. I agree with Liam. Good. Now try the other side. Excellent suggestion. Let's explore that direction. After the meeting, it was time for lunch. Liam had brought a sandwich from home, but David invited him out. A few of us are going to the sandwich shop down the street, David said. Do you want to join us? It is a good way to get to know the area. Liam hesitated. He wanted to save money, but he also knew that socializing with colleagues is important for building relationships. That sounds great, Liam said. I would love to join you. Let me just grab my coat. Responding to invitations is a key part of fluency. Let's shadow the acceptance. That sounds great. I would love to join you. Notice the enthusiasm in the voice. Make the word love sound slightly longer. I would love to join you. Perfect. At the sandwich shop, the atmosphere was more relaxed. They didn't talk about work. They talked about movies, sports, and weekend plans. One colleague, a woman named Jessica, asked Liam, So, do you have any plans for the weekend? Liam swallowed a bite of his sandwich. Not yet, he said. Since I just started this job, I think I will just relax and catch up on some sleep. Everyone laughed. That sounds like a perfect plan, Jessica said. Starting a new job is exhausting. Let's practice talking about the weekend. Listen and repeat. Do you have any plans for the weekend? And the response. Not yet. I think I will just relax and catch up on some sleep. This is very natural, everyday English. Try it one more time. I think I will just relax and catch up on some sleep. Back at the office, the afternoon was quiet. Liam spent time setting up his design software. Suddenly, the phone on his desk rang. Liam stared at it. He had not expected to answer calls on his first day. He took a deep breath and picked up the receiver. Good afternoon, Design Department, Liam speaking. The voice on the other end was fast and energetic. Hi, this is Mr. Roberts. Is Sarah available? I need to speak with her urgently about the proofs. Liam's heart beat a little faster. He needed to be professional. I am sorry, but Sarah is in a meeting right now, Liam said clearly. Can I take a message? Let's shadow this telephone interaction. It happens in almost every job. Repeat after me. Good afternoon, Liam speaking. Now, the refusal. I am sorry, but Sarah is in a meeting right now. Can I take a message? Make sure your tone is helpful and apologetic. Can I take a message? Mr. Roberts sighed. Okay, please tell her to call me back as soon as possible. It is regarding the deadline. Liam grabbed a pen. Certainly, Mr. Roberts, Liam said. I will have her call you back as soon as possible. Does she have your number? Mr. Roberts gave the number, and Liam wrote it down, repeating it back to ensure it was correct. This is crucial. Always repeat numbers. Okay, I have 550199. Is that correct? Liam asked. Yes, that is it. Thank you, Mr. Roberts said, and hung up. Liam placed the note on Sarah's desk. He felt proud. He had handled a somewhat stressful call in English without panicking. Let's practice closing the call. Repeat after me. I will have her call you back as soon as possible. And checking the information. Is that correct? Very good. At 5 p.m., people started packing up their bags. The workday was over. Sarah stopped by Liam's desk. "How was your first day?" she asked. "Was it overwhelming?" Liam smiled. "It was a lot to learn," he admitted, "but everyone has been very helpful. I think I am going to like it here." Sarah looked pleased. "I am glad to hear that," she said. "Get some rest, Liam. See you tomorrow at 9 o'clock." Liam put on his coat. "See you tomorrow, Sarah. Have a good evening." Saying goodbye properly leaves a good final impression. Let's practice the end-of-day exchange. Repeat after me. "It was a lot to learn, but everyone has been very helpful." And the farewell. "See you tomorrow. Have a good evening." Liam walked out of the building and into the cool evening air. The city lights were coming on, just like in Julian's story. But this time Liam felt a different kind of satisfaction. He had survived the workplace. He had introduced himself, learned to use the coffee machine, shared an idea in a meeting, went to lunch with colleagues, and answered a professional phone call. He realized that business English isn't a special, secret language. It is just normal English used in a polite and clear way. He walked to the train station feeling ready for day 2. Now, let's take a moment to review the specific business English phrases we practiced in Liam's story. These are tools you can put in your pocket and use tomorrow. I will say the phrase, and you repeat it with authority. Ready? First one. I am here to see Sarah. Good. Next. Thank you for the tip. I appreciate it. Excellent. Next one is for meetings. Excuse me, may I say something? Very polite. Next. That is a really good point. I agree. Great. And finally, for the phone. I am sorry. She is in a meeting. Can I take a message? You are doing an amazing job. By shadowing these workplace scenarios, you are preparing your brain for the professional world. You are removing the fear of the unknown. When you walk into an office or join a Zoom call, these phrases will be there waiting for you. You won't have to search for them. They will come naturally because you have practiced them here with me. We have practiced travel English with Julian and workplace English with Liam. Now, we are going to look at a situation that happens in our personal lives. We are going to meet a character named Sophie. Sophie has just moved into a new apartment, and she needs to deal with a very common problem: talking to a landlord and fixing things in the house. This is problem-solving English, and it is very important for B1 learners because it helps you handle difficult situations calmly. So, take a sip of water, shake out your shoulders, and let's get ready for Sophie's story. Sophie stood in the middle of her new living room. There were cardboard boxes everywhere. She had just moved in yesterday. The apartment was lovely. It had big windows and hardwood floors. However, there was one problem. The heater was making a strange noise. It sounded like a loud clank, clank, clank. It was very annoying, and Sophie was worried it might be broken. She knew she had to call the landlord, Mr. Henderson. Calling about a problem can be stressful because we worry about complaining. But it is necessary. Sophie found the landlord's number on her lease agreement. She took a deep breath and dialed. Let's practice preparing for a difficult call. Repeat this thought. Calling about a problem can be stressful, but it is necessary. Good. Now, let's see what she says. The phone rang 3 times before Mr. Henderson answered. Hello? His voice sounded a bit gruff. Sophie spoke clearly. Hello, Mr. Henderson. This is Sophie. I just moved into apartment 4B yesterday. Mr. Henderson's voice softened. Oh, hello, Sophie. Is everything okay with the move? Sophie was polite but direct. Yes, the move went well, thank you. However, I am calling because there is an issue with the heater. It is making a very loud clanking noise. Let's shadow this complaint. It is polite but clear. Repeat after me. I am calling because there is an issue with the heater. Notice the word issue. It is a soft word for problem. Let's try the description. It is making a very loud clanking noise. Try to emphasize the word loud. One more time. It is making a very loud clanking noise. Mr. Henderson paused. A clanking noise? He repeated. Is it constant, or does it come and go? Sophie listened to the heater. It happens every time the heat turns on, she explained, and it lasts for about 5 minutes. It is quite loud. I am worried something might be loose. Describing a problem in detail is a great skill. Let's practice describing frequency. It happens every time the heat turns on. And now, the duration. It lasts for about 5 minutes. Very good. Mr. Henderson sighed. Okay, I understand, he said. That does sound like a problem. I will need to send a repairman to look at it. Will you be home tomorrow morning? Sophie checked her schedule. She had to work, but she could work from home for a few hours. Yes, I will be here until 12 p.m., she said. Does that work for the repairman? Mr. Henderson agreed. Yes, I will call him and ask him to come between 9 and 10. Thank you for letting me know, Sophie. Sophie felt relieved. Thank you, Mr. Henderson. I appreciate your quick response. Let's practice scheduling an appointment. Repeat after me. Will you be home tomorrow morning? And the answer, yes, I will be here until 12 p.m. And finally, the gratitude. Thank you. I appreciate your quick response. The next morning, Sophie waited for the repairman. At 9:15, there was a knock on the door. A man in blue overalls was standing there holding a toolbox. Good morning, he said. I am here to fix the heater. Sophie smiled. Good morning. Please come in, she said. She led him to the living room. The heater is right over here, she pointed. It is quiet now, but if you turn the thermostat up, it should start making the noise. Giving instructions to a worker is another useful context. Let's shadow this. Please come in. The heater is right over here. And explaining the trigger. If you turn the thermostat up, it should start making the noise. The repairman opened the front panel of the heater. He used a flashlight to look inside. Ah, I see the problem, he said after a minute. It is just a loose screw on the fan. It is hitting the metal side. It is an easy fix. Sophie was so happy to hear that. Oh, that is great news, she said. I was worried it was something serious. The repairman took out a screwdriver and tightened the screw. There, he said. Try turning it on now. Sophie turned up the heat. The heater hummed softly. No clanking, no banging, just quiet warmth. It sounds perfect now, Sophie exclaimed. Thank you so much for fixing it. Let's practice expressing relief. Repeat after me. Oh, that is great news. I was worried it was something serious. And the thank you. It sounds perfect now. Thank you so much for fixing it. After the repairman left, Sophie sat on her sofa. The apartment was quiet and warm. She felt capable. She had identified a problem, communicated it clearly to the landlord, scheduled a repair, and managed the visit. These are the tasks of everyday life, and doing them in a second language is a huge achievement. She looked around at her boxes. Now, she just had to unpack. But that was a task for another time. For now, she would just enjoy the silence. This story teaches us that we have the right to ask for things to be fixed. We have the right to be comfortable. And we have the words to make it happen. You do not need to be aggressive to get what you want. You just need to be clear. Phrases like, there is an issue with, or I am worried that, are powerful tools. They invite the other person to help you. We have covered a lot of ground today. We started in a new office with Liam, learning how to be professional and friendly. Then we moved into a new apartment with Sophie, learning how to solve household problems. These are real-life English skills. I want you to take a moment and think, which story was more useful for you today? Was it the workplace story or the apartment story? Visualize yourself in Liam's shoes or Sophie's shoes. Imagine yourself succeeding just like they did. Shadowing works best when you do it repeatedly. You might not catch every word the first time. That is okay. Come back to this audio tomorrow. Listen to Liam's introduction again. Listen to Sophie's phone call again. Repetition is the mother of skill. Each time you repeat, your mouth gets used to the shapes of the words. Your brain gets used to the speed. Eventually, you won't be repeating. You will just be speaking. Welcome back to the next phase of our comprehensive listening and speaking course. We have traveled to new cities, navigated the workplace, and solved problems in our homes. Now, we are going to step into the social world. Many learners tell me that social situations are actually the hardest. Why? Because there is no script. In a hotel, you know what to say. In a shop, you know what to say. But at a party or a dinner, the conversation can go anywhere. It requires flexibility and confidence. That is exactly what we are going to build right now. We will focus on making friends, giving compliments, and talking about your health. These are the pillars of everyday life. Remember, relax your shoulders, clear your mind, and simply repeat what you hear. Let's begin with the story about a young woman named Maya. Maya stood outside a blue door with a wreath of flowers on it. She was holding a large glass bowl covered in foil. Tonight was a dinner party at her friend's house, and Maya was feeling a little bit shy. She didn't know everyone who would be there. Meeting new people can be scary, but it is also exciting. She adjusted her grip on the bowl, took a deep breath, and rang the doorbell. Almost immediately, the door opened. A woman named Chloe stood there with a big smile. Chloe was the host. "Maya, you made it!" Chloe exclaimed. "I am so happy to see you." Maya smiled back. "Hi, Chloe. Thank you for inviting me. I brought my famous potato salad. Let's practice this arrival scene. It is polite and warm. Repeat after me. Thank you for inviting me. I brought my famous potato salad." Notice how we say, "I brought." It is the past tense of bring. One more time. Thank you for inviting me. I brought my famous potato salad. Chloe took the bowl. "Oh, wonderful," Chloe said. "Everyone loves your potato salad. Please come in. Put your coat in the hallway." Maya stepped inside. The house was warm and smelled delicious. It smelled like roasted chicken and herbs. Maya looked around. "You have a beautiful home," Maya said. "I love the paintings on the wall." Giving a compliment about someone's home is a perfect icebreaker. Let's shadow this compliment. "You have a beautiful home." "I love the paintings on the wall." Try to sound sincere and appreciative. Repeat it again. "You have a beautiful home." "I love the paintings on the wall." Chloe led Maya into the living room. There were about 5 or 6 people standing around, holding drinks and talking. Maya felt that moment of hesitation we all feel when entering a crowded room. But then, a man walked over to her. He had a friendly face. "Hi, I don't think we have met yet," he said, extending his hand. I am Sam. Maya shook his hand. Hi, Sam. I am Maya. It is nice to meet you. Sam smiled. So, how do you know Chloe? Asking how someone knows the host is the #1 question at parties. It connects you immediately. Let's practice this conversation starter. Repeat the question. How do you know Chloe? And now, the answer. We used to work together at the library. How about you? This, how about you, is the magic key to keeping a conversation going. Let's try the whole sequence. We used to work together at the library. How about you? Sam laughed. Oh, Chloe and I are cousins, he explained. We grew up together. Maya relaxed. Talking to Sam was easy. He asked her, So, Maya, what do you do for fun? Maya thought for a moment. She didn't want to just talk about her job. Well, lately I have been really into hiking, she said. I love being outdoors. Sam's eyes lit up. No way. Me too, he said. Have you tried the trail by the river? Finding a common interest is the best way to make a friend. Let's practice sharing a hobby. Repeat after me. Lately, I have been really into hiking. I love being outdoors. Notice the phrase really into. It means you enjoy something very much. Let's try it again. Lately, I have been really into hiking. Later in the evening, they all sat down for dinner. The table was full of delicious food. Chloe brought out the roasted chicken. It looked amazing. Everyone said, ooh and ah. Maya wanted to compliment the food. This is another essential social skill. She took a bite and paused. Chloe, this chicken is incredible, she said. What spices did you use? Asking for the recipe or the ingredients shows you are really enjoying the meal. Let's shadow this compliment. Chloe, this chicken is incredible. What spices did you use? Make sure you stress the word incredible. One more time. Chloe, this chicken is incredible. What spices did you use? The dinner party continued for hours. They laughed, told stories, and shared dessert. Maya realized that she hadn't felt nervous for a long time. She was just having fun. When it was time to leave, she went to find Chloe. Thank you so much for a lovely evening, Maya said. The food was delicious, and it was great to meet your friends. Chloe gave her a hug. I am so glad you came, Maya. Let's do this again soon. Saying goodbye politely ensures you will be invited back. Let's practice the departure. Thank you so much for a lovely evening. The food was delicious. And the future plan. Let's do this again soon. Maya walked home under the stars. She felt energized. Socializing in English had seemed like a mountain to climb, but once she started, it was just a walk in the park. She realized that people just want to connect. They don't care about perfect grammar. They care about your smile and your stories. Remember this next time you are at a party. Just be yourself. Ask questions and listen. Now, we are going to switch gears completely. We are going to leave the warm dinner party and go to a place that is very bright and full of choices. A clothing store. Shopping is a very common activity, but asking for help in a store can sometimes feel intimidating. We are going to follow a young man named Tom. Tom has a job interview coming up, and he needs to buy a new shirt. He wants to look sharp, but he needs some assistance. Let's see how Tom handles this situation. Tom walked into the department store. There were racks of clothes everywhere. Shirts of every color, blue, white, striped, checkered. Tom felt a little overwhelmed. He walked over to the men's section and started looking at the white shirts. He picked one up, but he wasn't sure about the size. He looked around for a salesperson. He saw a man folding sweaters nearby. Tom walked over. Excuse me, do you work here? Tom asked. The man looked up and smiled. Yes, I do. How can I help you? This is the standard way to start an interaction in a shop. Let's practice asking for help. Repeat after me. Excuse me, do you work here? And the intention. I am looking for a white shirt for an interview. The salesperson, whose name was Ben, nodded. A white shirt for an interview? Excellent choice. What is your size? Tom looked at the shirt in his hand. I am usually a medium, Tom said, but sometimes I need a large. It depends on the brand. Ben understood. Okay, let's try a medium first, Ben suggested. We have a slim fit and a regular fit. Which one do you prefer? This is a specific detail about clothes fitting. Let's practice expressing a preference. Repeat after me. I am usually a medium, but sometimes I need a large. And the style preference. I prefer a regular fit. It is more comfortable. Ben handed Tom a crisp white shirt. The fitting rooms are just over there, in the corner, Ben said, pointing to the back of the store. You can take up to 3 items in with you. Tom took the shirt. Thank you. I will go try this on. Tom walked to the fitting room. He went inside, hung up his jacket, and put on the white shirt. He looked in the mirror. It was a little bit tight around the shoulders. He couldn't move his arms very easily. He knew he needed the next size up. He stepped out of the fitting room. Ben was waiting nearby. How did it fit? Ben asked. Tom shook his head slightly. It is a little too tight, Tom said. Do you have this in a large? Let's shadow this problem and solution. Repeat after me. It is a little too tight. Do you have this in a large? Focus on the word tight. One more time. It is a little too tight. Do you have this in a large? Ben smiled. No problem at all. Let me grab that for you. He returned quickly with the large size. Tom tried it on. This time, it was perfect. The shoulders were comfortable, and the sleeves were the right length. He buttoned it up and looked in the mirror. He felt confident. He looked professional. He came out of the fitting room with a smile. This one fits perfectly, Tom said. I will take it. Making a decision is the final step. Let's practice the purchase decision. This one fits perfectly. I will take it. Repeat it with confidence. This one fits perfectly. I will take it. Tom went to the cash register to pay. The cashier scanned the tag. That will be $45, please, she said. Are you paying with cash or card? Tom took out his wallet. I will pay with card, please, he said. He inserted his card into the machine and waited for the beep. Here is your receipt, the cashier said, handing him a slip of paper. Good luck with your interview. Tom took the bag. Thank you very much, he said. Have a nice day. Let's shadow the payment process. It is simple but happens every day. Repeat after me. I will pay with card, please. And the closing. Thank you very much. Have a nice day. Tom walked out of the store holding his bag. He had accomplished his mission. He had the right shirt. And more importantly, he had the right mindset. Shopping involves a specific set of vocabulary. Size, fit, tight, loose, card, cash. By practicing these words in context, you make them part of your active vocabulary. For our final story in this social block, we are going to look at a very important topic: health. Going to the doctor in a foreign country can be one of the most stressful experiences. You are not feeling well, and you have to explain your symptoms. It is vital to know these phrases. We are going to follow a woman named Nina. Nina woke up this morning feeling terrible. She has a headache and a sore throat. She decides she needs to see a doctor. This story is a little bit more serious. but it is incredibly useful. Let's listen to Nina. Nina sat on the edge of her bed holding her head. Her head was throbbing with pain. She tried to swallow, but her throat felt like it was on fire. She checked her temperature with a thermometer. It was 38.5 degrees Celsius. She had a fever. She knew she couldn't go to work. She needed medical attention. She picked up her phone to call the clinic. "Good morning, City Medical Clinic," the receptionist answered. Nina spoke slowly because her throat hurt. "Hello? I would like to make an appointment to see a doctor, please. I am not feeling well. Let's shadow this appointment request. It is the first step to getting help. Repeat after me. I would like to make an appointment to see a doctor. I am not feeling well." Make your voice sound a little bit weak or concerned to match the situation. One more time. I would like to make an appointment. The receptionist asked. "Have you been to our clinic before?" Nina replied. "Yes, I am a registered patient. My name is Nina." The receptionist checked the computer. "Okay, Nina, we have an opening at 11:30 a.m. with Dr. Evans. Is that okay for you?" Nina sighed with relief. "Yes, that is perfect," she said. "Thank you. Now, imagine you are Nina. You are relieved to get an appointment. Repeat the confirmation. Yes, that is perfect. Thank you." At 11:30, Nina was sitting in the doctor's office. Dr. Evans, a kind woman with glasses, walked in. "Hello, Nina," she said. "I see you are not feeling well today. What seems to be the problem?" This is the question every doctor asks. You need to be ready to describe your symptoms. Nina took a breath. "I have a really bad headache," Nina listed, "and I have a sore throat. Also, I have a fever." Describing symptoms clearly helps the doctor help you. Let's practice this list. Repeat after me. I have a really bad headache. I have a sore throat. I have a fever. Try to touch your head and your throat as you say it. It helps connect the word to the body part. One more time. I have a headache, a sore throat, and a fever. Dr. Evans nodded and wrote some notes. "How long have you felt this way?" she asked. This is a question about duration. Nina thought back. "It started yesterday evening," she said, "but it got much worse this morning." Describing the timeline is important. Let's shadow the answer. It started yesterday evening, but it got much worse this morning. Good. The doctor did a quick examination. She listened to Nina's breathing and looked in her throat. "Okay," Dr. Evans said. "It looks like you have a throat infection. It is nothing too serious, but you need to rest. I am going to prescribe some antibiotics for you. You need to take 1 pill twice a day with food." Nina listened carefully to the instructions. 1 pill twice a day with food. She repeated it to be sure. "Do I need to finish the whole bottle?" she asked. This is a very smart question. Dr. Evans nodded seriously. "Yes, you must finish the full course of medication, even if you feel better. Let's practice understanding medical instructions. Repeat the dosage. 1 pill, twice a day, with food, and the clarification. Do I need to finish the whole bottle?" Nina went to the pharmacy counter to get her medicine. She felt a little better just knowing what was wrong. She thanked the doctor. "Thank you, Dr. Evans. I will go home and rest." Dr. Evans smiled. "Drink plenty of water and get some sleep," she advised. "I hope you feel better soon." Nina walked out of the clinic. She was tired, but she was proud. Dealing with health issues is scary, but she had done it. She had advocated for herself. Let's practice the final exchange. "Thank you, doctor. I will go home and rest." And the well-wish. "I hope you feel better soon." We have experienced three very different worlds in this session. We went to a dinner party with Maya and learned how to make friends and give compliments. We went to a clothing store with Tom and learned how to find the perfect fit. And we went to the doctor with Nina and learned how to take care of our health. These are not just English lessons, these are life lessons. Fluency is about more than just words. It is about connection. When Maya spoke to Sam, she connected. When Tom spoke to Ben, he got help. When Nina spoke to the doctor, she got treatment. English is the bridge that allows these connections to happen. Now, we are going to continue building your stamina. In our previous stories, we celebrated successes, getting the job, fixing the heater, making a new friend. But life is not always smooth sailing. Sometimes things go wrong. And when things go wrong, we often panic, especially in a second language. Today, we are going to practice staying calm in stressful situations. We are going to look at travel mishaps and how to express complex opinions when you disagree with someone. These are advanced B1 skills that will really boost your confidence. So, take a deep breath, relax your jaw, and let's get ready to shadow. Our first story in this section follows a young man named Oliver. Oliver is usually very organized, but today, luck is not on his side. He is at a busy train station, and he is about to face a traveler's worst nightmare: missing his train. We are going to learn how to handle this situation with grace and clear communication. Listen closely to Oliver's experience. Oliver ran through the sliding glass doors of the central station. He was breathing hard. He looked up at the giant digital departure board. His train to the airport was scheduled for 2:15 p.m. He looked at his watch. It was 2:17 p.m. His heart sank. He had missed it by just 2 minutes. He stopped running and put his hands on his knees. He felt frustrated and angry with himself. But he knew that getting angry wouldn't bring the train back. He had to find a solution. He wiped the sweat from his forehead and looked for the ticket office. Dealing with a mistake requires a cool head. Let's practice admitting the problem. Repeat after me. I missed my train by just 2 minutes. He had to find a solution. Good. Now, let's express the feeling. He felt frustrated, but he knew getting angry wouldn't help. Oliver walked up to the ticket counter. There was a short line. When it was his turn, he approached the glass window. The agent, a man with a tired face, looked at him. "Next, please," the agent said. Oliver tried to speak calmly, even though he was stressed. "Hello, I have a problem," Oliver began. "I missed the 2:15 train to the airport. Is there any way I can change my ticket for the next one? This is a crucial negotiation. You are asking for a favor." Let's shadow Oliver's request. "Hello, I have a problem. I missed a 2:15 train. Is there any way I can change my ticket for the next one?" Notice how polite he is. "Is there any way" is a soft, polite way to ask. Let's try it again. "Is there any way I can change my ticket for the next one?" The agent typed something on his keyboard. "Let me see," the agent muttered. "That was a non-refundable ticket. Usually, you would have to buy a new one." Oliver's stomach tightened. A new ticket was expensive. He decided to explain his situation a little more. "Please, I understand," Oliver said. "But there was a huge traffic jam on the way here. It was completely unexpected. Is there anything you can do?" Explaining the why can sometimes help. Let's practice this plea. "Please, I understand. But there was a huge traffic jam. Is there anything you can do?" Emphasize the word anything. It shows you are desperate but polite. One more time. Is there anything you can do? The agent looked at Oliver, then back at the screen. He sighed. Well, since the next train is not full, I can make an exception this time. But only this time. I can put you on the 3 p.m. train for a small change fee of $10. Oliver felt a wave of relief wash over him. Oh, thank you so much, Oliver said. That is very kind of you. I really appreciate it. Expressing gratitude when someone bends the rules is essential. Let's shadow the thanks. Thank you so much. That is very kind of you. I really appreciate it. Make it sound sincere. I really appreciate it. Oliver paid the $10 and took his new ticket. He walked to platform 5 and sat down on a bench. He had 40 minutes to wait. He decided to buy a bottle of water and relax. He realized that while missing the train was bad, fixing the problem wasn't impossible. He just had to ask. This is a lesson for all of us. Don't just give up. Ask for help. Repeat this reflection. While missing the train was bad, fixing the problem wasn't impossible. He just had to ask. While Oliver was waiting, he noticed an older woman struggling with a heavy suitcase near the stairs. She was trying to lift it, but it was too heavy. Oliver stood up immediately. He wanted to help. "Excuse me, ma'am," he called out. "Do you need a hand with that?" The woman looked up, surprised and happy. "Oh yes, please," she said. "It is packed with books, so it is very heavy." Oliver walked over and lifted the suitcase easily. "I can carry it up the stairs for you," he offered. "Where are you going?" Offering help is a great way to practice English. Let's shadow the offer. "Excuse me, do you need a hand with that?" And the action. "I can carry it up the stairs for you." They walked up the stairs together. The woman smiled at him. "You are a very polite young man," she said. "My name is Margaret." Oliver smiled back. "Thank you, Margaret. I am Oliver. I am just waiting for the airport train." Margaret laughed. "Oh, I am going to the airport too. I am visiting my granddaughter." They spent the next 30 minutes talking. Oliver forgot about his stress. He realized that his mistake, missing the first train, had actually led him to a nice conversation. Sometimes bad luck turns into good luck. Let's practice this philosophical thought. Sometimes bad luck turns into good luck. Repeat it with a smile. Sometimes bad luck turns into good luck. Now, we are going to leave the train station and go to a university campus. We are going to meet a student named Lucas. Lucas is a hard-working student, but he has been sick this week, and he has a big essay due tomorrow. He knows he cannot finish it on time. He needs to go to his professor's office and ask for an extension. This is a situation that requires formal, respectful English. It is different from talking to a friend. Let's follow Lucas. Lucas stood outside Professor Miller's office door. He knocked 3 times lightly. "Come in," a voice called from inside. Lucas opened the door. Professor Miller was sitting at his desk, surrounded by books. He looked over his glasses. "Ah, Lucas. Hello," the professor said. "What can I do for you?" Lucas stepped inside but didn't sit down yet. "Good afternoon, Professor," Lucas said. "Do you have a moment to speak?" "It is regarding the essay due tomorrow. Asking for permission to speak is respectful. Let's shadow this opening. Good afternoon, Professor. Do you have a moment to speak? It is regarding the essay due tomorrow." Regarding is a formal word for about. Use it with bosses or teachers. Let's try again. It is regarding the essay due tomorrow. The professor pointed to a chair. "Of course, sit down. What is the issue?" Lucas sat down on the edge of the chair. He felt nervous, but he kept his voice steady. "I am very sorry to ask this," Lucas started, "but I was wondering if it would be possible to get an extension on the deadline. I have been quite ill with the flu this week, and I haven't been able to do the research. This is a complex sentence, so let's break it down. Repeat the request. I was wondering if it would be possible to get an extension. This is a very polite, indirect question structure. Let's try it again. I was wondering if it would be possible to get an extension. Now, the reason: I have been quite ill this week, and I haven't been able to do the research." Professor Miller looked at Lucas sympathetically. He could see that Lucas looked pale and tired. "I see," the professor said. "I am sorry to hear you have been unwell. Usually, I do not grant extensions so close to the deadline. However, since you have always been a diligent student, I can give you 2 extra days. Would Monday morning work for you?" Lucas felt a huge weight lift off his shoulders. "Yes, thank you, Professor," Lucas said. "Monday morning is perfect. I will make sure to hand it in by 9 a.m. Let's practice accepting the compromise. Monday morning is perfect. I will make sure to hand it in by 9 a.m. Using "I will make sure" shows responsibility. Repeat it. I will make sure to hand it in by 9 a.m. The professor nodded. "Make sure you rest, Lucas. Health is more important than grades." Lucas stood up to leave. "Thank you for understanding, Professor," Lucas said. "I will not let you down." As he walked out of the office, Lucas felt grateful. He learned that professors are human too. If you are honest and respectful, people are often willing to help. Let's shadow the closing promise. Thank you for understanding. I will not let you down. Strong and determined. I will not let you down. For our final story in this section, we are going to a coffee shop to meet 2 friends, Emma and Zoe. They are having a conversation about a movie they just watched. This story focuses on expressing opinions. In B1 English, we often just say, "I like it," or "I don't like it." But to be fluent, you need more nuance. You need to be able to agree, disagree, and explain why. Let's listen to their debate. Emma and Zoe sat at a small round table with their lattes. They had just seen the new superhero movie at the cinema. Zoe was very excited. "That was amazing," Zoe said. "I loved the special effects. The explosions were so realistic." Emma took a sip of her coffee. She had a different opinion. She didn't want to be rude, but she wanted to be honest. Calling something amazing is an opinion. Let's practice Emma's reaction. She paused and said, "I agree that the special effects were good, but I thought the story was a bit weak." This is the yes, but technique. You agree with one part, then disagree with another. Let's shadow it. I agree that the special effects were good, but I thought the story was a bit weak. Try to sound thoughtful. One more time. I agree that the special effects were good, but I thought the story was a bit weak. Zoe looked surprised. Really? You didn't like the story? She asked. I thought the hero was very brave. Emma shook her head gently. In my opinion, Emma said, the hero was too perfect. He never made any mistakes. It made him a bit boring. I prefer characters who are more human. Using "in my opinion" is a classic way to soften a disagreement. Let's practice this explanation. In my opinion, the hero was too perfect. I prefer characters who are more human. Repeat the preference. I prefer characters who are more human. Good. Zoe thought about it. I see your point, Zoe admitted. He was a little bit perfect. But didn't you like the music? The soundtrack was incredible. Emma smiled. Oh, absolutely, Emma exclaimed. The music was fantastic. On that point, I completely agree with you. It is important to find common ground. Let's practice strong agreement. Oh, absolutely. On that point, I completely agree with you. Notice the energy in absolutely. Let's say it again. On that point, I completely agree with you. They continued talking. Zoe asked, So, what kind of movies do you usually like? Emma replied, Personally, I am more into dramas or mysteries. I like movies that make me think. Zoe nodded. Fair enough, Zoe said. I like movies that help me escape. That is the beauty of cinema. There is something for everyone. This phrase, fair enough, is excellent. It means, I understand your opinion and I respect it, even if I don't agree. Let's practice it. Fair enough. I like movies that help me escape. And Emma's preference. Personally, I am more into dramas. I like movies that make me think. The conversation shifted to a news article they had both read about working from home. Zoe said, I think working from home is the best. You save so much time on commuting. Emma looked thoughtful. That is true, she said, but on the other hand, you miss out on social interaction. I get lonely if I am home all day. Using on the other hand helps you show the other side of an argument. Let's shadow this contrast. That is true, but on the other hand, you miss out on social interaction. Repeat it carefully. On the other hand, you miss out on social interaction. Zoe nodded. You are right, she said. It is a balance. Maybe working from home 2 days a week is the perfect solution. Emma smiled. Exactly. That sounds like a great compromise. Being able to summarize and agree is a high-level skill. Let's practice the conclusion. Exactly. That sounds like a great compromise. One last time. That sounds like a great compromise. Emma and Zoe finished their coffee. They had disagreed on the movie, but they were still best friends. Disagreeing in English doesn't mean fighting. It means sharing different perspectives. It makes conversations interesting. If everyone agreed on everything, the world would be a very boring place. We started this journey as strangers in a new city with Julian, and we have traveled through offices, apartments, dinner parties, train stations, and clinics. We have lived a dozen different lives through these stories. Now, for our final session, we are going to touch on the two things that make us human: our memories of the past and our dreams for the future. Being able to tell a story about your childhood or describe your goals is the ultimate test of fluency. It allows people to truly know you. So, for the last time, let's take a deep breath, find our focus, and step into the lives of our final two characters, Arthur and Isabella. We begin with Arthur. Arthur is an older gentleman sitting on a porch swing with his grandson, Leo. He is going to tell a story from his childhood. This is excellent practice for using the past tense and nostalgic language. Listen to the rhythm of his storytelling. Arthur rocked slowly back and forth on the swing. The sun was setting, casting long shadows across the grass. Leo looked up at him. "Grandpa, tell me about when you were a boy," Leo asked. Arthur smiled, his eyes crinkling at the corners. "Well," Arthur began, "things were very different back then. We didn't have iPads or video games. We played outside until the street lights came on. I remember the day I learned to ride a bicycle. It was a bright summer morning in 1955. My father had brought home a shiny red bike. It was the most beautiful thing I had ever seen." Let's practice setting the scene for a story. Repeat after me. Things were very different back then. I remember the day I learned to ride a bicycle. Notice the phrase, I remember the day. It signals that a story is coming. Let's try it again. I remember the day I learned to ride a bicycle. Leo listened intently. Was it hard to learn? He asked. Arthur laughed softly. Oh, it was terrible at first, he admitted. I fell off so many times. I scraped my knees and I bumped my elbows. But my father was very patient. He would run beside me, holding the back of the seat. He kept saying, "Keep pedaling, Arthur. Don't look down. Look where you are going." Describing past struggles is a key part of storytelling. Let's shadow Arthur's memory. Repeat after me. I fell off so many times, but my father was very patient. And the advice, don't look down, look where you are going. This is good advice for life, too. One more time. Don't look down, look where you are going. Arthur continued. Finally, after hours of trying, my father let go. I didn't realize he had let go. I was just pedaling as hard as I could. Suddenly, I felt the wind on my face. I was flying. I looked back, and my father was standing far behind me, waving his hands. I was doing it. I was riding all by myself. It was the best feeling of freedom I have ever known. Let's practice the climax of the story. Repeat with emotion. I felt the wind on my face. I was flying. I was riding all by myself. Make your voice sound excited. I was riding all by myself. Leo smiled. That is a cool story, Grandpa. Arthur nodded. It taught me that you have to keep getting back up, no matter how many times you fall. That is a lesson I have carried with me my whole life. Sharing the moral of the story is how we wrap up a memory. Let's practice this lesson. It taught me that you have to keep getting back up, no matter how many times you fall. Repeat it slowly. It taught me that you have to keep getting back up. Now, we shift our gaze from the past to the future. We are going to meet Isabella. Isabella is a university student who is about to graduate. She is having coffee with her mentor, Mrs. Higgins. She is talking about her career plans and her ambitions. This is crucial for practicing the future tense and expressing desire. Isabella held her coffee cup with both hands. She felt nervous, but excited to share her ideas. Mrs. Higgins looked at her kind over her glasses. So, Isabella, graduation is next month. What are your plans for the future? She asked. Isabella sat up straight. Well, Isabella started, my big dream is to start my own sustainable fashion brand. I want to create clothes that are beautiful but also good for the planet. I plan to move to the city and work for a designer first to get some experience. Let's shadow Isabella's ambition. Repeat after me. My big dream is to start my own sustainable fashion brand. And her concrete plan. I plan to move to the city to get some experience. Using I plan to is very common and effective. Let's try it again. I plan to move to the city to get some experience. Mrs. Higgins nodded approvingly. That is a very ambitious goal, she said. But the fashion industry is very competitive. How are you going to stand out? Isabella had thought about this. I am going to focus on using recycled materials, she explained, and I hope to partner with local artists. I believe that people are looking for something unique and authentic. I am not going to give up until I make it happen. Let's practice determination phrases. Repeat after me. I am going to focus on recycled materials and the expression of hope. I hope to partner with local artists. And finally, the promise. I am not going to give up until I make it happen. Say that with power. I am not going to give up. Mrs. Higgins smiled. I believe in you, Isabella, she said. You have the passion and the talent. Just remember, it will take time. Be patient with yourself. Isabella beamed. Thank you, Mrs. Higgins. I know it won't be easy, but I am ready for the challenge. I can't wait to see what the future holds. Let's shadow the final outlook. Repeat after me. I know it won't be easy, but I am ready for the challenge. I can't wait to see what the future holds. This phrase, I can't wait, shows great enthusiasm. One last time. I can't wait to see what the future holds. And there we have it. We have looked back with Arthur, and we have looked forward with Isabella. We have covered the entire spectrum of human experience in English. Now, before we say our final goodbye, I want to do something special. I want to bring all our friends back for one final review. Think of this as the curtain call at the end of a play. I want you to remember one key phrase from each of the stories we have practiced together. This is the ultimate test of your memory and your fluency. Are you ready? Let's go. Think back to Julian in the new city. Repeat this. Excuse me, could you please help me? I think I am lost. Now remember Liam in the office. Repeat this. I am looking forward to working with all of you. Remember Sophie in the apartment? Repeat this. I am calling because there is an issue with the heater. Now Maya at the dinner party. Repeat this. You have a beautiful home. I love the paintings. Recall Tom in the clothing store. Repeat this. This one fits perfectly. I will take it. And Nina at the doctor's office. Repeat this. I have a headache, a sore throat, and a fever. Think of Oliver at the train station. Repeat this. Is there any way I can change my ticket? And Lucas at the university. Repeat this. Thank you for understanding. I will not let you down. Remember Emma discussing the movie. Repeat this. I see your point, but on the other hand, I prefer dramas. And finally, Arthur sharing a memory. Repeat this. I remember the day I learned to ride a bicycle, and Isabella planning her future. Repeat this. I am not going to give up until I make it happen. Listen to those sentences. They are not just words on a page. They are tools. They are keys that unlock doors. With these phrases, you can travel, work, live, love, and dream in English. You have built a toolbox that will serve you for the rest of your life. I know that learning a language is hard. I know there are days when you feel like you are not making progress. Days when you feel like Arthur falling off his bike. But remember what Arthur said. You have to keep getting back up. Every time you stutter, every time you forget a word, every time you make a grammar mistake, you are learning. You are growing. You have spent over an hour listening to my voice, shadowing these sentences, and training your brain. That puts you ahead of 99% of people who just dream of speaking English, but never put in the work. You are doing the work. You are the hero of this story. My advice to you as we finish this course is simple. Do not stop here. Take these stories and make them your own. Change the names. Change the details. When you are in the shower, practice telling Arthur's story. When you are driving, practice Isabella's interview. When you are cooking, practice Julian's bakery order. Make English a part of your daily reality, not just something you study. This channel, English in Fluency, is here to support you. We are a community of learners, dreamers, and achievers. If you have completed this entire series, I want you to leave a comment below with the word graduate. Write, I am a graduate of the Shadowing Masterclass. Wear that title with pride. You earned it. Thank you for trusting me, Alex, to be your guide. Thank you for your time, your energy, and your dedication. I believe in you. I believe in your ability to speak clearly, confidently, and fluently. Go out there and show the world what you can do. Until next time, keep listening, keep shadowing, and keep speaking. The world is waiting to hear your voice. Goodbye.